Did you know that the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal is a powerful example of the ostrich bias in action? For decades, reports of sexual abuse by priests and cover-ups by the Catholic Church leadership were ignored or denied by many within the institution, despite mounting evidence to the contrary. The ostrich bias was evident in the way that many church leaders chose to turn a blind eye to the abuse, or to actively cover it up in order to protect the institution's reputation. This had devastating consequences for the victims of the abuse, who were often ignored or disbelieved when they came forward with their stories. It was only in the 2000s, when a series of high-profile cases and investigations exposed the extent of the abuse and the cover-up, that the Catholic Church began to acknowledge the problem and take steps to address it. However, many argue that the Church still has a long way to go in terms of accountability and transparency. The Catholic Church sex abuse scandal highlights the danger of the ostrich bias, which is the tendency to ignore or deny information that contradicts our beliefs or values, and the importance of being willing to confront uncomfortable truths and take action to address them. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, the very spot we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today's episode is all about the ostrich bias, a cognitive bias that causes us to ignore or deny information that contradicts our beliefs or values. It's easy to fall victim to this bias, but by being aware of it, we can strengthen our mind's analytical skills and improve our reasoning abilities. But running a podcast channel requires time and resources, and we need your support to keep delivering high-quality content. That's why we're asking for your help today. If you find our content valuable and want to support our channel, please consider donating through the PayPal link in the description below. By donating, you'll help us continue to create engaging and informative content that will help you and others build critical thinking skills and avoid cognitive pitfalls. And if you can't donate, don't worry. You can still help us out by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing our episodes with your friends and family. Thanks for listening, and let's dive into the ostrich bias. Ostrich bias fun fact: it is named after ostriches that bury their heads in the sand when confronted with danger, which actually makes them more vulnerable to danger and less effective at reacting to it. So let's take a look at what the studies say. Research has shown that people who are more confident in their beliefs are more likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias. They may stick to their beliefs and ignore evidence that contradicts them, even when it's important information. Another study found that people are more likely to ignore negative information when it's presented alongside positive information. That means we may focus on the positive and ignore the warning signs or red flags that could be pointing us in the right direction. Interestingly, a questionnaire-based study found that people are more likely to ignore warning signs when they're emotionally invested in a decision. Emotions can cloud our judgment and cause us to ignore important information. Furthermore, a study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people are more likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias if they are tired or mentally depleted. Additionally, another study found that people are more likely to ignore information that challenges their beliefs when they feel like they're being judged or evaluated. This means that if we feel like our beliefs are being questioned, we may be more likely to ignore important information and fall victim to the ostrich bias. While these studies provide valuable insights into the ways in which people may fall victim to the ostrich bias, it's important to also consider individual differences that may play a role in how likely someone is to ignore or deny information that contradicts their beliefs. Research has found that people with higher levels of education may be less likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias. This could be because education teaches us how to think critically and evaluate evidence objectively. Additionally, people with higher IQs may be less likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias, as they may be better equipped to recognize and address cognitive biases. Personality traits may also play a role. For example, people who are more closed-minded and less willing to consider alternative viewpoints may be more likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias. Conversely, people who are more open-minded and willing to consider alternative viewpoints may be less likely to ignore important information. Interestingly, research has also found that age may be a factor. One study found that older adults may be more likely to fall victim to the ostrich bias, as they may have stronger beliefs and be less willing to consider alternative viewpoints. I got a question for you guys. Do you think social media and the 24-hour news cycle contribute to the ostrich bias? With so much information available at our fingertips, are we more likely to ignore or deny information that contradicts our beliefs and worldviews? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Be sure to read what others are thinking as well. This is a topic that affects us all. The ostrich bias is a cognitive bias that affects people in various aspects of their lives, often without them even realizing it. Here are only a few everyday examples of how the ostrich bias manifests. 1. Not going to the doctor even when you're experiencing symptoms of an illness, because you don't want to face the possibility of a serious health issue. 2. Ignoring warnings about potential dangers, such as not wearing a seatbelt or ignoring a smoke detector that's beeping. 3. Refusing to acknowledge that you made a mistake or did something wrong, even when presented with evidence. 4. Sticking to certain dietary habits, even when presented with evidence that they may be unhealthy or harmful. 5. Refusing to try something new or outside of your comfort zone, such as a new food or activity, because of preconceived notions or fear of failure. 6. Ignoring news or information that contradicts your political or religious beliefs, even when presented with factual evidence. 7. Refusing to take constructive criticism or feedback from others, because it challenges your beliefs or self-image. 8. Refusing to check your bank account balance, credit score or other financial information, even though it's important to your overall financial health. 9. Avoiding conversations or situations that may make you uncomfortable, such as conflict or confrontation, even when it's necessary for growth or resolution. 10. Ignoring warning signs in a relationship, such as red flags or signs of abuse, because of emotional investment or fear of being alone. 11. Refusing to learn a new skill or technology, even when it's necessary for your job or personal development, because of a belief that you're too old or incapable. These are only a few examples, but they show how the ostrich bias can affect various aspects of our lives, from health and safety to personal growth and learning, which leads us to the question: how to spot the ostrich bias and what are some ways to not fall victim to it? The ostrich bias can be tricky to spot in ourselves and others, but there are some effective techniques that can help us identify when it's happening. One approach is to ask ourselves questions like, am I ignoring or avoiding certain information, or am I only seeing things from my own perspective? Another helpful technique is to write down once a week, what am I shying away from the most that I should do? This can help us identify areas where we may be avoiding uncomfortable truths or situations. In addition to these methods, it's important to seek out diverse perspectives and actively listen to feedback from others. Asking others regularly for their input and feedback can help us challenge our assumptions and broaden our understanding of a situation. By recognizing and understanding the ostrich bias, we can avoid falling victim to its pitfalls and make more informed decisions. As with all biases and fallacies, being aware of its existence is the first step towards overcoming it. The most shocking thing about the ostrich bias is that it can have serious consequences, both for individuals and for society as a whole. By ignoring important information or avoiding uncomfortable truths, we may be setting ourselves up for failure or making decisions that have negative impacts on ourselves and others. Have you ever witnessed or experienced the ostrich bias in action? Maybe it was a friend or family member who refused to acknowledge warning signs about a relationship or job, or maybe it was a personal experience where you found yourself ignoring important information in order to justify a decision or belief. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on the ostrich bias and how it can impact our decision-making and lives in general. It's important to be aware of this bias and look out for warning signs to avoid falling victim to it. If you found this episode helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel for more insights on how to strengthen your mind's analytical skills and avoid cognitive pitfalls. But I need your help to continue creating this content. If you found value in today's episode, please consider donating to my PayPal using the link in the description. Every dollar counts towards keeping my channel running and providing you with the best information on how to think critically and avoid biases. Keep your mind sharp, rational rebels, until the next time we meet in the arena of reason. This is me, Chris from Critical Conditioning, signing off.